Welcome to Hetepsen Plays Pharaoh, A New Era.
O Horus of gold, our hold on Asia is strong and unchallenged, and our borders again stretch far into Nubia. But the trouble on our northern coast is escalating. The sea people have become increasingly aggressive, wantonly raiding our cities. Only Pharaoh's presence will be enough to defeat this fierce and wily adversary. If you commission a navy, supported by a strong army, surely we shall overcome the sea people. While you work to defeat the sea people, your brave nomarchs are leading attacks throughout the world. If they are successful, Egypt will rule the world from the great Euphrates River in Asia to the sprawling Kushite city of Kerma to the south. When you and your nomarchs have met with sweet victory, your dynasty will be recorded as the greatest dynasty ever to keep watch over Egypt. Marking your far-reaching influence is a new, distant trade partner, Mycenae. The king of Mycenae has learned of the splendor and bounty of Egypt and wishes to engage in trade with us. If you agree to open this trade route, O Pharaoh, your citizens will surely be provided with exotic goods unlike any they have ever seen. To house your royal family for the afterlife, an awe-inspiring mausoleum and an impressive pair of brick pyramids must be built. These monuments will remind all who follow of your deeds, both on and off the battlefield.
All right, hi, this is Hetepsen, and welcome to Series 1, Episode 41 of our playthrough of Pharaoh, A New Era, as we play through the campaign missions, and we have reached the end, at least the end of the original game campaign missions. So we are playing Rowarty, which is the military side of it, and there's the city building side would be Hetepsenusret, and where you have to grow a really big city, like 12,000 population and high 70 culture and da-da-da-da. Well, this one we're about to do, Rowarty, is really tough, and it's a fitting way to end our little military campaign. So we have to hit 7,000 population with a culture rating of 65, a solid prosperity, high kingdom rating, and we have to build small mud brick pyramid, medium mud brick pyramid, and a mausoleum. And we will be attacked constantly with strong forces. And the other thing is, if we let's look at our production. Now you can see we have lots of great things here. We can do clay, we can do wood. There's a lot of wood on this map. We're up in the upper delta of the Nile River, up toward the northern part of Egypt, and we've got reed gatherers, and there are reeds on this map. We've got wood, we've got clay pits. We can do jewelers and bricks and weavers and breweries and potters and papyrus makers. But I don't see any gold, I don't see any copper. So this is a military mission that has extreme requirements for military with no gold, which makes it a very difficult one. And we'll look at the trade here in a minute and see what we can do about that, because we got to have money, right? Money, money, money is our whole theme. That's how you play this game. That's how you play this game well. And the other thing that's extremely challenging, look at this map. See, we're all cut up in these little pieces. We got this piece right here that's decent size. That's a decent size one. And then there's over here, there's another piece over here, another chunk over here that's relatively decent. And we've got some, here you can see the reeds. We've got some farmland, but you can see that even the farmland, you can see is this is all eating into our buildable space, but it is contributing very little because it's not very fertile, because the Nile flood only gets up to like in here. So the fertile patch is out here on the very edge. It's long and skinny and hard to get to, and the The rest of it is it's unusable, and it just eats up into our space. So this map is meant to be a challenge. Now, if we were playing global recruiting, it would be obviously much easier, because then we would just build roads out to whatever we wanted to do. And we could build a road out and throw down reed gatherers right next to the reeds, and everything would be cool, but we're not going to be able to do that because there's going to be parts of this that are literally unusable. Now, and the other thing is our kingdom road's over here, right? So the kingdom road's down here in the southeast corner of our map. But most of our buildable space is over here across the water. And then if we go up here, if we look at pieces like this, it would be possible to do something here, take advantage of this shoreline and all that stuff. But you'd have to build some tiny, extremely inefficient little housing block here. And again, if we were doing global recruiting, we'd just build roads over here and everything would be cool. But we're not. So all this is basically unusable. All this in here, up here, it's completely unusable. I mean, what are you going to do with it? This entire section of the map might as well not be there. This section up here might as well not be there. So while this map may be huge, this map is tiny in what space we can actually use. Using our space wisely will be a big deal in this one. And keep in mind, we have to grow the city to 7,000, and we have to have a 65 culture rating at the same time. So we can see there's 3 possible foods: grain and lettuce and meat. So let's go look at our trade and see what's going on. So what do we got in the way of trade? We are up here in Rowarty. So there's Mycenae. They sell pottery and jewelry by water. Byblos here sells ivory, wood, and copper. We potentially could use copper for troops. And they will buy jewelry and gems. Now, we have jewelers, but we don't have any gems, right? That's Byblos. Idiotawe will sell us meat and pottery and linen and papyrus and limestone. We will need limestone for our mud brick pyramids to put on the outside of them. And they will buy beer, so that's worth it. Buy beer by land, that's worth knowing. And then Abu down here will sell a bunch of stuff. They'll sell grain and straw and linen and gems. Okay, so here we could buy gems. They will sell granite, sandstone. We'll definitely need sandstone, for a lot of sandstone for the mausoleum. And they'll sell us flax. We'll see about if we need any of that. And then they'll buy reeds and clay and pottery and papyrus. Okay, pottery and papyrus. Okay, so let's go see. Well, we saw that we could make those things, right? We've got clay pits. We can make pottery. We've got reed gatherers. There's a lot of reeds on the map, and we've got papyrus makers. So right here, Abu, by water, is going to be important to us, it looks like, because we can sell them, not a lot though. We can sell them 1,500 pottery, 1,500 papyrus a year. So that'd be nice, but it won't be earth-shattering, right? Okay, so that's our trade. So it looks like the exports where we can make money by water, we could make pottery and papyrus, and by land we could do beer. Okay. And what else do we need to know? Military, looks like we got all the usuals now, all the ones we're accustomed to. We've got our 2 warships and transport. We've got the warriors. I don't see any hides. So once again, we can't do hides for our infantry. They're going to be a little weaker. Well, less strong, I really should say. But we can do archers with bows. And we have the wood, so that's going to certainly be something good. And then if we want to, we can go to charioteers and infantry and start importing copper. We only have 10,000 to start with, so I'm not sure about that. So here's all our stuff we need for the monuments. That's all cool. We've seen this before. Entertainment, we've got kind of our usual with the Senate House and the usual suspects in the decorations. All right, so what are we going to do to hit 7,000 on this, what is really a tiny little map? I think what I'd like to do now is I have an idea in mind of what I want to do. And the easiest way for me to convey that to you and show it to you is actually and allow you to visualize it, since you, fortunately for you, cannot see what's actually in my head. That would be scary if you could. For you. I'm going to draw it out, so I'm going to put in the road network that we're going to need to support this. Hopefully it won't eat up all our money, and I'll be able to come. I'll be back in a little bit. We'll kind of stop here, and then I will move forward, and I'll show you the road layout for what I see as almost the whole build, and we will go from there. All right, so I went off and built the road network and thought about the blocks, the housing blocks we'll need to reach our goals, and did some analysis of what that means in terms of entertainment venues and what have you, and went back and forth and back and forth. I considered large senator blocks or big bad wolf blocks, or really thought hard about Pharaoh heaven blocks, and finally decided, let's go out the way we came in. If you remember, on Min Defer, we started using the straight line. I call it the crooked straight block. And by golly, that's how we're going to go out. We're going out because I love it. I love that block. It's so, look at this right here. I put down this, measured it out, put down that. There's the block. Cost almost nothing to build the block in terms of road. So we're going to have a block over here on the Kingdom Road. And the main purpose of it, well, first of all, two things. We have to be able to get over here with our people. Now, we can just throw down these ferries, and our immigrants can get over here to housing. But if we want to be able to move stuff back and forth, and if we want land traders to be able to go over here, for example, then they would need to be able to take the ferry. So we'll need some housing over here to have a working ferry coming off of our Kingdom Road. So we're going to throw a block right here. And then we'll have just a little recruiting for this. And it also gives us the option. There's more space down here. I didn't draw it all out, but we can put warships. We can put a dock over here if we want to, whatever. We'll probably put some warships over here, and I'll show you why in a minute. But here's one block. And that's going to be one of our crooked straight lines. This particular one's dead straight. And then you'll see, you visualize, if you will, it'll come out like this, and then we'll have entertainment venues that run down through here, right, behind the housing. Now, if we go over here, this is to me, the most important thing. We have a block for our warehousing. So it's 6 deep right through here. And we have room for a whole lot of storage yards right in here. So the plan is to have a dock and a shipwright. And then there's actually room on this for, okay, this is dock, this is shipwright. So we can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can put 6 warships along here. And then we've got space over here for a 7th and an 8th and a 9th and a 10th if we want to go all warships. We'll probably go like 8 and save 2 spaces for transport ships in case we need to send our troops off by water to support one of our allied cities. So this is going to be storage and dock and also our warships. Then space between it and this area here will be industry. So this is a 4 wide, so it can do 2x2 industries. So there's going to be industries all through here and probably up in here as well. And so we'll put in our industrial buildings, our weavers and potters and papyrus makers, in this block. So both of these blocks have to be able to recruit. And so right here is our next housing block, another crooked straight block that in this case happens to be straight. And we'll have a block that runs up through here and housing all along here. And that'll allow these 2 blocks to recruit. And then this rectangle you see right here is a carve-out space. We're going to put the temple complex and I don't think I covered this. Our gods are, where are they? Our gods are, Seth is our patron god, and Osiris and Ptah are the local gods. So we will have a temple complex to Seth right here, the family mansion back here, and the city palace right here. So they'll all be built around that. And then here's another crooked straight block. This one actually is crooked. And it'll go like this. It'll go kind of next to the complex, take a curve around the city palace, and kind of be built around the city palace. So all these houses will have some really nice desirability. And so here's our third block. So now we've got 3 crooked straight blocks, and we've got the complex and the mansion and the palace and all that good stuff, our work area. And then we go over here, and we'll be able to recruit off of this for this down here, which is a ferry they'll take us over to here. Now, I didn't draw this one out because the money's getting tight, and I want to actually use this. I want to start playing from this because I don't want to have to do it again. Although it was, I have to admit, once I decided on crooked straight, it was very easy. Now, what's going to happen down here is there will be a second dock, and this dock will deal with sandstone and limestone. Those are 2 things we're going to have to import to do our monuments. So we're going to have a dock area in here, and then another crooked straight block here, so that we can man this ferry landing and staff our dock and storage yards here, and then have our monuments will be built in this space here in some configuration. We'll figure all that out, but we'll have to place. We've got to place a mausoleum. You can see the mausoleum's a pretty big footprint, and you can't really do much with it rotation-wise. There's only 2 orientations. So we're going to have to get that fit in here. And we may even have to move it, like down here or it's going to be tight. It's going to be really tough. Space on this map is just really hard. But we'll figure it out. We'll put in the mausoleum, and then we've got our 2 pyramids. We've got a medium one that's decent size, and the small one doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So the intent, and we'll see how this works out, the intent is to have the monuments over here in this southwest corner of our city, and maybe have to go all the way up there. And then one other challenge will actually be the farming. What I'm seeing here is we'll probably do early farming of barley here to get a beer business going, and we'll probably do flax right up here, so we don't need a whole lot of space here, and that's good fertile floodplain right there. So we'll do barley and flax here to get beer going early, and then later on linen. And we'll probably, since we'll have the housing up here, we could actually get another farm up here and get some stuff going on the grain. And then this one here, we'll want to farm this part, not so much this part. But the hard thing about this is a long walk, after the harvest. It's a long walk. If we have to go, like say you were coming out of here and you had a road that went all the way over and all the way to a farm up here. The cart guy, I don't think the cart guy can make it back before the flood hits him. I think he's going to drown. So we'll figure out some way maybe to have part of this coming off of here and part of it coming off of here to do the farming for that. So the farming, everything in this one's a challenge. Everything, all the logistics, all the space, everything. How you going to make money, everything. So back to that, how we're going to make money. Well, let's just go look at the plan for a second, the inevitable spreadsheet, since it is me. Okay, our inevitable spreadsheet. We've got 3 gods. We'll do a temple complex to Seth as early as we can afford it. We will do some sort of mixed temples and shrines for the other 2 gods, for Osiris and Ptah. And we need a population of 7,000. So you can see it takes a lot of too much, honestly, way too much. Entertainment venues here, potentially 12 schools. I don't see it taking that many because that would be on the assumption that you had 3,500 children, and I don't see us having that. They actually, with that big patch, they'd had a problem where when you reloaded a save file, it would actually, you would end up with a whole lot of children, ridiculous numbers. And that's one of the reasons people were struggling early on with their culture ratings. So I think that 12 is way overkill, so I think we'll be fine there. Now, so you can see we're just going to do 4 crooked straights, and then you can get about 20 houses in one. You could actually probably cram a little more. If we do 3 of them to fancy residents and 1 to common residents, then well, actually, I think I don't want to balance. This would have to be 19. There we go. We want a negative. We want a 0 or a slightly negative balance, so that'll give us just over 7,000 people. This particular lineup, and if we do this, then we only need the 4 blocks that I showed you. The one over on the Kingdom Road, 2 in our work area, our main housing area, and 1 over where the monuments go, and that'll do it. And you'll see though we will have. Well, we need. You would think we've got a problem here with the venues, the entertainment venues, because we've got a balance on the pavilions. We need 2 more. We need 2 more bandstands and 4 more booths after all this is done. But I've got them loaded in here. Well, actually, I got to fix that. In fact, I've got it loaded up. A crooked straight, the way it's just intended to be built, the way we've been doing it, just has 3 booths, right? Because it has a pavilion, a bandstand, and a booth, and that equals 3 booths. So, if we look at our city planner, so we need 12 more booths, but what we'll do is we can take any of these blocks where there's space and just add a pavilion, and maybe a pavilion to 2 of them, and that'll take care of the pavilions and the bandstands, right? And it'll knock off 4 of the booths, so we'll be short 8 booths. And we may not even add them back in. We'll see what our culture rating looks like, and if we have to, and if it's telling us that our big problem is lack of entertainment, booths, juggling booths, then we'll start adding them back in. They're easy to add in anywhere we want to. That's another reason I want to do the crooked straight lines. They're so flexible because it's so easy to just add, if we extend this line and just keep adding more venues out here, you've got more entertainment. The other thing I want to do is try to have a feeder area for each block where we have like an area out here that has the entertainment set up so that it can only get in like this, and it would go in here and entertain this block, and some kind of an area down here that would go in over here and come down to entertain this block. You get the idea. One over here, this area over here dedicated, or not dedicated, but one of the things we'll have here would be a bunch of entertainment schools that could come in here like this and go up here, and then this will loop around like this to be entertainment venues, and they'll come in here and entertain. And the same thing over there in our monument area. All right. And the other thing, one other little key thing is we've got wood. We can't export it to sell yet. But if we just had one wood chopper down here conveniently close to a little stand of trees right here, and our shipwright right here, or even right here, our woodcutter could just go straight to that shipwright and supply it with wood. We don't even need a storage yard to start with. Now, if we start making bows, which we will, we'll probably put in a storage yard dedicated so we can save up some wood and keep ahead on the wood and have some bows. But anyway, ahead of myself. I'm actually right now I'm starting to play the game, in my head, which again, dangerous place to be. So there you go. There's the plan. I like it a lot. You can't believe how easy that was to build that block. Love it. And let's go play the game. All right, so we have our roads laid out. We have our plan for the most part. There was one important thing I left out and one correction I'm going to have to make. This is a redo of this portion of the video because I ran into it has to be a defect. Let's just deal with that first. See this right here? I got, not to get ahead of myself, but I had trade set up, and a trader was supposed to go over there and buy beer, and he would not go, and he just kept walking. They just kept going over it. It was killing us because you can't get any economy going. And there's something wrong with this site right here. I don't know what it is. You can even watch the way the animation works. It seems wrong. So what I think we have to do to make this work is we're going to have to give up one of our nice big spots for a warship war, because this to that does not work. So if I move it over here, it's not my preference in any way, shape, or form, but we can make it work. We can go like this. Still got room for for our dock right here. Kill that piece right there. So this will still work, and then maybe we can put a transport wharf right there. But anyway, this I'm hoping will work. Okay, if it doesn't work and we can't get trade going over there, because the way the game's supposed to work is if you have a staffed ferry landing on both sides, and you have a trader coming in here on land, and he wants to go over there and buy something, he will. He absolutely will go over if the ferry is working. He won't go over there on his own, but if the ferry's working, he will. So hopefully that'll work. Now let's just put that aside and let's move on and see if we can play. All right, so we're missing a key thing I didn't mention in the plan. For us to survive, Seth has got to help us out because this is the ultimate test of your military, and we got to be on the ball. So 1, 2, 3 here. 2, okay. What I'm doing is putting in a little cross so that we can put in a festival square. And the very first thing we're going to do is start holding festivals to Seth, so that we can get the blessing. We want the home and the away blessing. We want the blessing where he protects your troops if anybody violates your city, and the one that he protects your troops on faraway lands, so that we aren't giving up troops. Win, lose, or draw, we don't want to lose our troops. In the case of the faraway, we don't want to lose the troops, whether we win the battle or not. In the case of home field, we got to have him whittle it down to give us a chance, right? To give us a fighting chance, we need Seth to whittle things down. Okay, so let's set up some housing. We need to be able to recruit into this block and this block, because this is our dock and storage, a bunch of industries here. So let's get some housing over here, and we're going to have to delete a few more trees up through here, I think. And by the way, if I really wanted to do this again, I really wanted to go at it hard, I would not have all this stuff already set up. The roads are not horribly expensive. They do cost. And the big thing was there's a lot of trees right in here, and it costs a fortune to cut them down. So this 5,700 we're trying to play with is way less than we would have if we were just doing this from scratch. So just understand that, when you play this, don't lay out all your roads at first like this and delete all the trees. Build it up in pieces as you go, and conserve your money a little bit. Otherwise, you're just making the game much harder than it needs to be. So let's get some housing in here so that these can recruit, right? And then let's give them basic so I won't forget it and not come back later. Let's give fire and architecture. We're going to start with a policeman. We'll replace that policeman with a courthouse and a dentist later on when we're ready to advance our housing. But for now, that'll do. We're going to need an apothecary because we're on a map with reeds, and we're building our housing in grass, not out in the desert, so they could get malaria. So we don't want that to happen. We'll give them basic health care. We got a basic service, basic protection, basic health care, water. If we give them gods, that's all we can do for now. So we're going to put a temple to Seth on this block and a temple to Ta. Okay. Then we're going to go, one thing I'm going to do before I do anything else, I'm going to go in and open these trade routes before I spend all my money, which would be just like me. And these two that we need, Biblos and, oh, that wasn't it. Shoot, I just wasted money there. This is the one I really wanted. Okay, we want Abu because they're going to buy pottery and papyrus. And we want Itawe because it's going to buy beer. That's the only three things we can export. And we can't export a lot of any of them, so we need to really export all three. So we're going to set up all three industries, and I do intend to go broke. I'm going to try my best to go broke and get the bell out and move on from there. One, because I did, excuse, I did waste a lot of money for the visual aspects of that up there. So anyway, and besides that, we all know I would go broke anyway, right? I would just start laying down stuff, building something, getting all excited, not paying attention, and I would blow all our money. We know I would. So let's just embrace that, confess that fault exists, and just, make it into a strength by not fixing it, but by taking advantage of it. Okay, let's set up some housing there. We've got some over here. We might as well have some more. These people will have nice attractiveness because they'll be next to the temple complex. Given where we put this, these people are very nice. I have a temple complex on one side, and the festival square on the other. Let's see. Get it going. Now we should be able to go back in and fill in the blanks here. And we're going to hold on. The festival just took place. We want another one immediately. Remember, we're trying to get home and away here. We want to be good in both. It won't undo. Doggone, I must have started the silly game. Doggone it. Okay. They need services. Oh, and I did not mean to put one there. We'll save that space for a bazaar. And we'll do fire, architect, police, apothecary, physician, and another temple to Seth. And then we'll do a temple to Osiris because we didn't do one to him. Oh, on the other side. Okay. And, okay. So let's set up our industries. We've got 3 that we want to do. Let's do productivity. Let's do clay pit. Now, we could do our clay pits down through here. Would be a perfectly good place for it. But there's a nice spot right here where we didn't really design it for the storage yard. So if we put in 3 clay pits and 1, 2, 3, 4 potters, we'll give them architect and fire. We can put it there without interfering with that wharf. Architect and fire. These guys have everything they need right now except food, which will come later. These guys have everything, so our houses are good. And now, so that's one industry, almost. Let's go ahead and put in storage yard here that's going to accept all pottery. And a storage yard here that's going to accept all papyrus. And a storage yard here that's going to accept all beer. And we're trying to go broke, and this should do it. We'll put in our barley farm. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 should do it. If we give them a road like Okay, and let's irrigate that. And we'll put in a work camp right there at the corner as close as they can get. Now, you see, it wanted to go out that way, so we're going to have to block him off and force him to get onto this block. This one will need fire and architecture, and there's actually a nice little odd space, single space right there we can use. So that's barley, so let's put in brewers. And let's set up our reed gatherers. We'll skip one more in case we want another work camp. 1, 2, 3. Now, we could obviously put in some housing in this block and put a recruiting area up here and get the reeds. But we really don't need to. This will work just great. They'll go up and get it. They'll easily keep up with our papyrus makers. We're doing 4 just because it's make sure we get the 3 done. That's all it amounts to. Same thing with the beer. We can only do 1,500 exports at it for this anyway. All right, how are we? Okay, we've got high unemployment, but that should change as these jobs get filled. And let's make sure that we're doing all this trade. So we're going to export went over 0. We're going to export beer over 0 and papyrus. And we need a storage yard to take in the barley, because we should get more from our crop than what it will take just to put in those breweries the first time. All right, so where are we? All right. Okay, so let me think. What's the best thing we could do? Well, best thing we could do is start building our military. So let's put in a woodcutter right there. And let's put in our shipwright. 1, 2, 3. Right there, right across the street. So the woodcutter can cut this little area right here nearby and take it directly to that shipwright, and that should keep us in ships, or in the ability to make ships. And let's go ahead and order up a couple of warship wharfs. 1 there, 1 there. Okay, there we got staffing. How are we looking? We need some more workers. Let's go out here and grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll do. Okay, there's the far off blessing. So we're good on the away games, but we really want the home games too. Okay, there's our festival. We're gonna want to have another one. I know we got no money, but we gotta have this blessing. We're starting to accumulate. There we go. We're starting to get some stuff to sell. We're in debt, and we're hoping this will work, and our trader will come over here and trade for something. There's the city. Okay, good. We got the 2 we really have to have. We're totally broke. There we go. You see that? Some beer disappeared. That dude right there. Whew, thank goodness. He bought 700 beer. Got us back up to not quite broke. Close enough though. We need our ship to come in. We should get a ship from Abu. Oh, my goodness. All right, I'm trying my best to lose this. We don't have a dock. Trying my best to lose. Okay, once we get a dock, we should see a ship come in. Here he comes. Whew. There we go. He bought a bunch of pottery, a bunch of papyrus, probably maybe 1,500 of each, a whole year's worth. Yeah, 1,300. So one will come back and buy 200 papyrus a little later in the year, hopefully. And then if we look at our beer, we should still sell another 700 beer this year. So we'll have a little more money coming in to augment that. And what can we best do with that? Well, one thing is we can certainly put down another couple of these. 1, 2. And then we could, oh boy, we need to get our mail. Oh, man, we just need everything. This is tough. This is so tough. This is the only way we can make money right now. I mean, we could put in the village palace and start taxing, but the housing's so crappy that it's almost no money. So we just got to get our military built as quickly as we can. Now, he should have bought something. He did 200 papyrus. That probably ends up the year for them. Yeah, see, we've maxed out that. And Itawe, we've maxed out the beer. So that's all we're going to get for this year. So there's no more money coming until next year. But if we can build up, here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw in another one of these. Can't have too many. We're going to go over. Do we dare? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go over here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could have had 6 if this thing had worked, but it didn't. All right, so we got 5. So we want some more. Let's go up here and put in 1, 2, 3. And put a road like this. And like that, and give it architect and fire. Let's see. That should get us 3 more of these. How are we on employment? Now we need workers. Okay. 1. Okay, we're out of money. We're going to stay that way the rest of this year, so hopefully we won't go too far in debt from the incredible interest you get charged when you're in debt. Look at this. Look how negative we're going. So we should get a big old ship coming in about, that's New Year, good, soon, and giving us some money and bailing us out a little bit. Here he comes. There we go. We're back in the positive. Okay, good deal. 3,800. What can we do with that? Would love to spend that money getting us some sort of the beginnings of an army. So we've got 5. We'll end up with 8 warships. Believe it or not, that's not enough. We got both of our blessings, didn't we? Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a festival to Tom and kind of start his engine. And what we're going to do is put in a warehouse that accepts all jewelry. And we're going to throw down 4 jewelers. And have them staffed. We're not going to import any gems. It's too expensive for now. Well, we could. And we're going to see if old Ta will come through with a blessing for us. He's a good God. He should do something for us. We got a little unemployment. Let's just see after these guys start looking for work. Okay, we need a little bit of employees. Let's go here. And then here. Okay, that was a festival to Ta. Now, what do the gods think of us? Seth is displeased, so we're going to have to spend some money to keep him happy. We got 2,800. It's 2,600 for the temple complex. If we threw that down, then we'd be done with Seth, right? Problem is, it's 2,600 for the temple complex. Let me repeat that phrase. And we want to use the money that we get from next year's sale. Oh boy, we already sold to Abu. We're done with Abu. Jeez, Pete. And we only got 700 more beer to go. Jeez. Okay, no temple complex. We'll have to put in some shrines. I think if we give Seth a few shrines, I think he'll be happy. We just need to keep him happy now. We've got it. We've got the 2 blessings for now, and we're certainly going to want to come back to the well again and get more blessings from him. But there, he's very happy. He liked those. He liked those shrines. That was much cheaper than the temple complex. Okay, we got our full eight ships. Now, if we can, we're going to have to wait 5 months. Oh man, can we wait? We don't have much choice. Tell you what, we're going to have to do. We don't have enough money to do anything else. We're going to have to really double down on our shipping. We're going to have to say, okay, if we're going to survive, it's going to have to be with our navy and Seth's blessing. So let's go. Let's see, we can put two, one there, one there. All right. Okay, we'll put one here. We'll put a road. Like this. And now he's going to have fire and architecture. Jeez. Okay, architect and fire. All right, let's get that one staffed. We can make another. There we go. We're already making that ship. And again, we're going to have to go all in on the Navy. I think we'll just go right here. And we'll just go architect and fire and a ship. So we'll have 10 ships, which is the biggest Navy you could possibly have, and we're going to cross our fingers that that's enough. That and Seth's blessing is enough to just stop the enemy before they can get to land. We got 1 month. Hopefully we can get that final ship made. There we go. We got it. Okay. Here we go. Seth helps us out. Hopefully we can sink them all. There we did. Good. All right, we sank the warships before they could get on land, because if they got on land, we got nothing to fight them with, right? We had nothing. Okay, now we've got some money. We've got a big Navy. Let's use this money to get started on our ground forces. We can't afford to go through that turmoil again. What do we want to recruit? I was kind of see it happening right here. Yeah, I still do. All right, let's do... let's put in a military. Let's put in an academy right here. A recruiter. You fit in that. Why don't we put a recruiter right there? And let's put another one of these because I want to do some boyers. Maybe, yeah, let's put them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's put a storage yard here that will accept a 1/4 yard of wood and 3/4 composite bows. And now, didn't really talk about placement of the forts, but there is a little bit of room. We can put, there's room right here, there's room right there, there's room right there. There's even room over here if we build a bridge. We can't get 2 in here, but we can get 1. So we're going to do that. And we're going to build a bridge over to it. Okay. So there's a walking away for the recruits to walk up there to their new assignment. And we'll stop right there and get that wood going, get those boyers going, get the, now what are we? Now we need more workers. Okay. And do we have any space over here? Not really, because we need. We're just going to take the space. We'll come back later and delete some of these houses. Okay. I'd like to have space for a library and a courthouse and a good grief, they're coming right in behind the first attack. Oh, we got you, buddy. All right, good. We just sank their 2 ships. Good deal. All right. Well, I'll tell you what we could do just to be prepared. 9:30. No, we're so broke. Gotta wait till the year ticks over and then do all our trade. That's all the income we have. And Ta isn't helping us a lick, is he? Let's see if we can't. Ta, lavish festival, go. Come on, Ta. We want you to either give us a bunch of gems or give us a yard full of jewelry. Your choice. Okay, there we just made our big sale to Abu. Probably sold out the entire year's worth of stuff. Yep. We could be selling reeds and or clay. Yeah, we have, don't usually do this, but if we can only sell so much, then why don't we sell the reeds as well? Accept all reeds. And then let's do one that accepts all clay, in case we're getting extras there. Accept all clay. Let's see if we've got what we've got. We should have a bunch of reeds, if nothing else. So if those ships can buy everything the good stuff in one trip, they can make, at least 3 trips a year or 2 trips a year, depending upon the size of the route. There we go. We do have a surplus. So let's do this. Let's say we will export reeds when over 0. I'm going to say we're going to export jewelry. We haven't gotten any yet. And we'll export, for now, we'll export clay with over 0. Don't see a whole lot of that yet. All right, so why don't we stop right there with this first one. We're off to a pretty good start, I think. Oh, look at this. There, we've already got a full archery fort with composite bows. And we're going to plop down another one and keep recruiting on that. So in spite of the fact that our economy sucks, it doesn't suck that badly because we've got we are trading max out. We're maxing out all of our trade. So our large navy and some blessings from Seth are helping us out. So speaking of that, we'll order a new festival, make sure that the gods are loving us. Okay, these two are drooping a little bit. We got 4,000. I'll tell you what we're going to do before we leave. We're going to make the big plunge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we're going to put in the temple complex to Seth. And what triggered me to do that is the other two gods aren't as happy as they could be, right? So now that we've got this complex, what we can do is destroy that. This is Ta, so we'll give these guys Osiris. Then we'll go over here to this other one, and that one's Seth, so we'll get rid of Seth, and we'll switch it over to Ta. So now all three of our gods should be very, very happy once we get these things staffed. And before it blows up, I will put in an architect post before we lose our temple complex. And that's where we'll stop. We've got ourselves a nice start. We've got our complex. We've got our gods happy. We've got our recruiting going. We're starting to build a decent army, and then we have a tremendous navy, and the money is not great, but it isn't awful. So there, solid start, and thankfully this ferry landing's working. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Pharaoh, A New Era video. Thank you.